Today we just finished the 11th day of our 80-day obsession journey, and I have been thinking a lot about the subject of time over the last 24 hours, because yesterday it dawned on me. We finished day 10, which means we were 1/8 of the way through. And the crazy part is yesterday I was thinking the last 10 days have absolutely flown by. And I was like, we only have 7 to do that 7 more times and we're done. And you know, time is such a funny thing that seems to be the reason, the excuse, that people can or can't do things. And time's really relative. There's that saying that there's the same amount of hours and minutes in everybody's day. And so you make time for what's important to you. And really, the way time is, it's a feeling. Because I remember when I got the email that said that I was part of the test group and that we couldn't talk about it or tell anybody. And I thought, man, I'm like, this is going to be forever. And I knew that the program was going to release in 2018, and it seemed like forever. And then they told us, on Monday last week that on the 4th or something that we could talk. On the 1st, they told us that the announcement would be made on the 4th. And I remember those 3 days seemed like forever when you're waiting for something. And what I realized since I've been doing this program is, as if you don't know already, they're filming it live in Santa Monica, and we are tuning in live and doing the workout with them. So we're watching it all as it's filmed, all behind the scenes. We see what is going on before it's even edited or anything like that. And because of that, there's no timer. And if you've done any of our programs, there's always a timer on the screen to follow. That's seriously like a mind fuck. Because when you see that number on the screen that says, 50 minutes, you're like, oh my God, a 50-minute workout. Or when there's like 10 minutes, you're like, oh my God, it's only 10 minutes. I've already done 40 minutes, so I can quit now because God, I have this and this and this and this to do. So time, is an emotion and it's a feeling. And since the timer is not there for us, time's just flown by while we're doing it because it's exciting, because I can't wait to know what's going on next. And, I thought about what I shared yesterday when I went live after my day 10 workout. And that was, somebody said, wow, 80 days, that's a long time. And I remember starting my journey a long time ago, and I thought that, 90 days was a long time. I didn't even think I was going to make it through one workout, let alone 90 days, but I did. And I'm still here 5.5 years later. It still is like mind-boggling to me that I'm still here 5.5 years later, because I didn't think that I would be able to even complete day 1 of my fitness journey. And so, but time has went by. Time has went by so fast. And that's what I'm realizing is, the other day Ryan asked me, what day is it? And I was like, it's Tuesday. I'm like, and then tomorrow's Wednesday, and then it's Thursday. And those 2 days have flown by, and another week is almost over. And people don't realize how time just flies by. And everybody says, oh, I'm going to do that later. I'm going to do this, then or that. And I was one of those people. And I was talking to my friend yesterday, because my goal is to write a book, and I've already started it. I actually am not really sure which way I'm going to take it. I don't know if it's going to be just this book about my life, which there might be it's that big, or am I going to talk about my adoption, or am I going to talk about my alcoholism and drug use? Am I going to talk about being an adoptee? And I don't know, but we were talking about how for my daughter's 18th birthday, since she was 14, she wanted to go skydiving. I am terrified of heights, absolutely terrified of heights. I don't even like to watch movies where they're looking over a cliff. It makes me, makes me feel sick. I won't fly in small planes with Ryan because he flies, or, I've never been in a plane with our friend Sean. I, don't like heights at all. And then I always said, well, I'll pay for you to do it. And her and a friend were going to do it. And then we found out you have to be 18. And I remember that conversation like it was yesterday, but she was 14, and literally next month she's gonna be 18. And to me, I guess I'm having a really emotional time thinking about time, about how much time has been wasted, how much time has went by in a blink of an eye, and people take advantage of that all the time. Like, in literally less than a month, or like a little over a month, my daughter will be half my age. She will be the age that I had her. And I just had my 20-year, reunion. And I just think about how many people come to me about, how they're so inspired and motivated by what I do and what we're doing as a team or a company. And they say things like, oh, I wish I could get motivated. I wish I could do this, but I don't have enough time, or maybe later, or maybe when the time's right. And I just think about all the time that's gone. And so, now she's almost 18. I remember it seemed so long, like to wait 4 years for her to be able to go skydiving. And now so much has changed in those 4 years, because I, like about 6 months ago, said I'm gonna go. And like, I honestly have zero fear, and there's something like really emotional about me going. I can't even really put it into words, because I don't even understand it really. But it's just like this full circle moment that when we jump out of an airplane on our 18th birthday, it's like we did it. Like, we did it. We made it. Like, I don't know. We survived. And then I thought about recently, like the other day, like her and her sister live with their dad, because I had them for all of this time, and then they said we want more time with our dad, so they moved in with him. And I don't fight it, because I'm like, they're right down the road, I see them a lot. But lately Haley hasn't been coming over as much, because it's summer, she's almost 18, she's working, she's with her friends, like totally normal stuff, But the other day I was like, I really miss her. I wish she would come around more. And then I thought, well, she's a kid, she's doing what normal kids do. I don't have my feelings hurt, I'm not mad. But then I just thought about how many times that drugs and alcohol were involved in my life, where I knew I had that mom guilt of like that I needed to spend more time with my kids, or I needed to clean up my act, or I needed to get out of bed or not stay up all night or days or whatever. And maybe I should sit outside drinking, all night. I should spend time with them. And I kept thinking like, oh, I'll do it later. And there'll be time. And then I look, like my daughter's 18. She doesn't want to spend time with me because she's almost 18. She has friends. She has a life. And, and then I thought about, saying things to her like, you need to come over here. And I was like, no, because how many times did she probably think that I should have given her more time? And, and it's just been one of those things that now that I'm growing up, and now that I'm sober, now that I'm clearly thinking, and now that I'm seeing how much time has been wasted, it's something that's so precious to me. And I was telling Robin yesterday, I was like, it's so funny. So much of my life was spent in regrets. Like, I wish I hadn't have done this, or I regret doing this, or I wish I had have done this, or man, I failed. All these regrets. And now all my energy is like, I don't want to, I want to do more. Like, I want more time. I don't want to live with regrets of not doing anything. Like, I'd rather now do something and totally fuck it up, but know that I lived. Like, because before I just did things impulsively, screwed up, and then stop doing stuff because I was afraid of messing up. I was afraid of letting people down. I was afraid of looking like a failure. Now I'm like, I don't care. I just want to live, because I feel like, I told somebody, I'm like, I feel like I'm at a race against the clock. Like, I'm almost 37, and I'm like, that's kind of middle age. Yes, I could live to 80, or like Glenn Campbell just died, he was like 90. I want to live that life. Like, everything I'm doing now is so that I do live a good life. Like, but like now it's like, somebody said like, chill out, you have enough time. Like, you still have like half your life left. But I'm like, yeah, but this last half of my life has flown by faster, like just like that, and so many people just say, I'll work on my health later, I will do this later, it's not the right time, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing that. And I thought about how my daughter yesterday, when we were leaving her 8th grade orientation, she was talking about a teacher she had last year, and she was like, oh, I didn't see her. And I'm like, man, maybe she retired. She's like, oh no, she can't retire. And I'm like, God, she's been there forever. She's, old as dirt. She should be able to retire. Like, live her life, enjoy it. And she's like, oh no, Mom. She said she has like $500 worth of prescriptions that she has to pay. And I was like, for what? She was like, oh, just old people stuff. She's really sick. And I'm like, that's what we're conditioned to think, that like when we're old, we're just gonna be in bad health. No, that is a byproduct of the decisions we made when we were young. And like now I think about all the years and the time I spent putting drugs and alcohol in my body and bad foods and just beating it up and living like careless lifestyle. And I am like freaked out now more than anything, like that. I don't want that to catch up to me. Like I'm trying so hard to be healthy and some people might think like, oh, you're obsessed and you're this or that, but like, I share it because it's like real. I see people who are 30, 40, 50 years old having strokes, on high blood pressure medicine, high cholesterol, people dropping dead, people with cancer, and I never saw it coming, but I could see it coming by their lifestyle. And we're not really sure how a lot of these things happen, but I know that most of what plagues people now is food related, or lack of, energy, lack of moving around. And one of my corporate mentors that I was talking to the other day, he was telling me that he was always in Boy Scouts, and now I guess as a father he's decided to help out with the Boy Scouts. So he said there was always this standard test in Boy Scouts that you took that was push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. He was like sit-ups and push-ups, it wasn't a number of could you do it was just how many could you do in a minute. So he was helping facilitate this very same fit test that has been around forever with a kid that was like, I don't remember how old he was. He was a young child, but this kid could only do 6 sit-ups in 60 seconds. And he just said, it made me really sad because I thought, what is his life going to be like when he's an adult? And I deal with these adults that have no clue about health or fitness, and I was one of those people, because they weren't really taught. It wasn't instilled in their lifestyle or, through their family. And like, we have that ability now to help people. Hey, we have that ability to help our kids so that they don't have the same problems that we have now. We have that ability to change that and make it more aware. And now at the age I'm at, I want that for myself, I want that for my family, I want that for our future, for grandchildren, for whatever. But like, there is not enough time because it will go by so fast. But make time for these things. Make time for your kids. Make time for yourself. Make time for the things that's going to give you a better life in the future. Because so many people look about right now, right here, right now, and they're not looking about how every decision they make is going to stack up, or they don't stop and look back and look how much time has been lost. And I mean, that is my biggest regret because of drugs and alcohol, is I lost so much time. Like, I always cared about my kids, but like I was telling Robin yesterday, just this metaphor came out that when you're in so much pain mentally and emotionally as a child, and then you learn and find drugs and alcohol, and you find this like escape from the pain for just, it's temporary, but you find it, and then that becomes a habit, that becomes what you know. So as an adult you do that, and then you think when you're using drugs and alcohol, when you feel really bad about yourself, you're around people that treat you the way you feel about yourself. Those types of lifestyles and environments just lead to more failure, to low self-confidence, and more pain. And guess what that leads to? More alcohol use, more drug use over time. And when you're using drugs and alcohol to escape from the pain, to have some relief from that stress that is temporary, to numb yourself from those feelings, or just shut your brain off of that negative self-talk or racing thoughts, unfortunately, I realized that when I used drugs and alcohol, it didn't just make me stop caring or stop hurting about the thing that was bothering me at the moment. It made me stop caring about everything, about my kids, about my family, about my finances. And I just, in the last 18 months of being 100% sober, not touching alcohol at all, because that became my biggest crutch, I realized like I've just woken up, and like I just feel like I've slept through my whole entire life, and I've done some amazing things. I've spent, I haven't been a horrible mom, but like I just think about how much time was wasted in a fog because of drugs and alcohol, and how I was trying to put a band-aid or fix a certain pain. But it's not like an epidural, that you get an epidural and it goes right to the problem and then the rest is fine. Like literally, it just numbs your whole body, and you just stop giving a shit about the things that matter, because you can't differentiate that like, oh, I'm gonna do drugs and drink alcohol and it's gonna just take away this thing. You just stop caring. And people who've never had addiction problems, they don't understand. They don't understand, and I would never want them to understand. But it's not that you don't care about your family or your priorities. You just care so much about trying to end that pain that eventually it appears that you don't care about anything, and that's not the truth. And so, I share these things because it's, it's embarrassing. Like I told Robin the day, I don't really want to write a story about all my drug use, as a parent, because, I don't want my kids to, I don't want my kids to know. And she told me, she was like, they know that you've changed. They see the change, and she was like, they at least will know why things were the way they were, instead of spending half their adult life wondering why it is, and then possibly finding out, and then being like, oh, it makes sense. And so, I share these things because I know I'm not alone. There's people out there with drug and alcohol problems, and lack of self-esteem, and they don't feel worthy, and they're using excuses to like time to not do the right things that they should for themselves. And like I'll tell you as a mom, that the first thing that I do is I meditate. I listen to some personal development, whether it's like a YouTube video that pumps me up, a book about self-confidence, a book about being vulnerable, a book about being open, about forgiving. I do all those things first. I write some affirmations out about what I want out of my life, and I work out every day, and I drink this shake every day, and I eat good food every day, because those things make me a good mom. Like if I didn't do those simple things, like I wouldn't be able to help people. I wouldn't be able to help my kids. I wouldn't be able to see the mistakes that I made and fix it now. I see so many people who sadly are just the same as they were 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago. And I'm like, I don't want to keep living the same year and the same life over and over and over again. So, this started out about my 80-day obsession, day 11, but what I've been thinking about was time. And it all started about the fact that, there's no clock, no timer on the workouts that we're doing right now, because they're being filmed live, and time flies by. And so, if you're, doing a program at home and you get tripped up on, the 30-minute workout or whatever, cover up the timer. Put some tape over that side of the TV or something, or just focus on why you're doing this. This is going to give you better quality time later on. Don't focus on how horrible it is or what you have to do afterwards. Focus on what you need to do now and why you're doing it and how great you're going to feel afterwards, because regret sucks. And I've never done a workout where I regretted it. I've never been like, geez, I wish I had a folded that laundry instead of working out. Those are the things that really matter. So that's my day 11. I feel great. The soreness has just went away about I don't know, yesterday or 2 days ago in the afternoon. The soreness went away, and now tomorrow is leg day, so that means the soreness will be back. But I'm loving the program. There's a lot of variety. Today we use the resistant loops, the bands, weights, and the slides, and so there was tons of variety. She mixed things up. It was about an hour. I burned like 350 calories. I noticed yesterday on my Fitbit that I burned like 2,700 calories the last couple days. So this is like serious shit. Like this program is going to be like working out in a gym with a trainer, except for if you're on Beachbody on demand, you don't have to pay for it. Like that's the mind-blowing thing to me, is like you can get in the gym results working with a trainer for like, I don't even know, like 1% of what it would actually probably cost if you did it. And it's just amazing. Like you can do it from your home. You don't have to leave your house. So anyways, that's all I have to say about today. Tomorrow is leg day. I am so excited because leg day is my favorite day. Although the next day I'll be walking funny, and you'll have to remind me about how much I love leg day.